In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the increases that are used for shaping a shawl. In this particular example, I've got 4 sections. You can see I've got a little motif in the center, and that can be anything. In my Yarn Fairies in the Garden Knitalong, this was a whole big motif that had double yarn overs and increases and decreases. It could be anything though. After that, I've got a section here with plain stockinette stitch and corners that increase. And because I have 4 sections, I'll be doing the increases every other round. Right now I've got stockinette stitch in between the increases, but you could also have different pattern stitches, and I'll show you that in a separate video. First, let's just look at when we have these increases, how do you work them to add stitches to each section every other round? Well, I'm going to do a yarn overs, and that's what makes the pattern here that has the holes. The yarn overs become the increases because I don't work any decreases to get rid of the extra stitches. And I'm working the first stitch of the round, knitting through the back loop to make this little spine here have more texture. You could do a regular knit stitch there if you want. So on each of the 4 sections, I'm going to do knit 1 yarn over, then I'm going to knit to the end of the section, and in this case I have each section on a separate double pointed needle, but you could have 4 sections split up on magic loop, on 2 parts of a needle, or on 2 circular needles, whatever you want. And then I'm going to yarn over at the end of that section. So I did knit 1 yarn over at the beginning and then a yarn over at the end, and now I'm going to go to my second section, which because I'm on DPN is on a separate needle. So I'm just going to do knit 1 through the back loop, yarn over, knit across that needle, and then do a yarn over at the end of that needle or section. One thing to be careful of if you're working on circular needles is that the yarn over stays on the proper side of your stitch marker that you might have for separating your sections. When I do it on DPNs, the yarn over is obviously going to stay on this DPN. It's not going to jump over here. But if you're using circular needles and you have a marker, it's a possibility that it could jump to the other side of the marker, especially when you pull the stitches back onto the needle off the cable. So be careful of that. Anyway, you just go all the way around, and then the next round is just knit plain. And you repeat that every other round, so you're adding 2 stitches to each needle, or 8 stitches to the entire piece every other round.